Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever it is, wherever you're from. I've had a couple requests after a few videos that I've posted up about doing an updated list on my Majin Vegeta list, or Vegeta and Babidi. So, I've been having a lot of fun with this deck, like I always have. Like, it's my favorite leader. But I've done some changes recently that have made it maybe a little bit better, maybe a little worse. Who knows? But it's been testing pretty well. So if you don't know what the leader does, it's Overlord, which means once per turn, if you have a card with Servant on the field, you can put it on the bottom of the deck, draw a card. When this guy attacks, you take a life, draw a card. It's not an up to, you have to. If you attack with him, you have to take a life and draw a card. And he gains plus 5k and double strike for the turn. He awakens at 5 or less life, which is really good. So if you take a couple of life early, you can go ahead and awaken. And then, you untap 2 on him. On the backside, he's got the Overlord again. And then instead of on swing, take a life, draw a card, you can activate main, take a life, draw a card. But if you if you want to take the card, you have to take the life. It's not optional again. And then again, he gains plus 5 and double strike. So on the front side, he's a 15k double every time he attacks, and on the back side, he's a 20k double every time he attacks. And then pay 1, activate main. For 1 green, you look at the bottom card of your deck. If it's a Vegeta card with Servant, energy cost 3 or less, you can put it into play. So using his abilities, just put the Servants on the bottom, and then other abilities of the deck, you can get Servants off there pretty quick. So what I run is I run a little bit harder into the Vegeta package. I run 4 of the Prince of Destruction Vegeta, Evil Awakened. He is a Servant. Servant skill means that you get plus 10k, it's a permanent, and that you don't untap during your untap step, or your charge phase. But when he comes in, you can take a life. If you do, he gains double strike for the turn. So in the early turns, you can, this is one that really helps yourself awaken. So you can, honestly, like almost every turn too, if your opponent is taking at least 1 life from you, or if you run the play, you swing the leader, take a life, go back to your turn, swing with leader, take a life, swing this, take a life. You're 5 life, you can awaken. I play 4 of the Prince of Destruction Vegeta Majin Defiance. Another Servant, he has a pay 2, activate main for 2 green. You have 3 or more energy. You choose 1 Prince of Destruction Vegeta Powerful Warrior in your hand. Play it on top of this card in active mode. I'll show you that one in just a second. Do that here. Which is this one. The Powerful Warrior, he is Deflect and Triple Strike. He also has Servant, so he's a 30k base. And when this one comes out, if your leader's mono green, you choose one of your opponent's unisons, remove 3 markers from it, which is really, really good. The main attacker in the deck is the Prince of Destruction Vegeta, Life and Death. He is Double Strike, Servant, base 30k, or base 20k, so he's 30k with the Servant. And auto once per turn, when your opponent activates a counter skill, you switch this card to active mode. So being able to put this on the bottom with a few different skills, pay 1 off leader effect to play it, swing with it, activate a counter, he restands anyway. If you can get like 2 of these out on the field, it's pretty devastating board. Out of the anniversary box, we got some support in the form of Prince of Destruction Vegeta, Proud Defiance. He is unique, Barrier, and Servant. The permanent is this card cannot attack, and if your opponent has more energy than you, it gains blocker, which seems kind of bad because you have a Majin Vegeta card that can't attack. But when this card is played, you get to draw a card and put a card on the bottom of your deck, so it allows you to put these guys on the bottom of the deck the way you want. Plus, it is a Servant, so in the early turns, you can just play it out, draw a card, bottom deck something, and then bottom deck and draw another card. It has activate main limit 1. If your leader card is a green Evil Wizard Babidi, which your leader is, and your opponent has 1 or more energy, you just play this card from your hand. So as long as you're not on the play, you can play this card for free every turn. And then activate main, if your leader is an Evil Wizard Babidi and you place this card from your hand to the bottom of your deck, you choose 1 unison, remove a marker from it. It does not say opponent's unison, it just says unison. So I don't know if there's some situations where you might want that, but so as far as a unison, I play the King Piccolo, Dimensional Conqueror. He is Rejuvenate, which means once per turn, you can remove 4 markers from the unison and remove a card from underneath it, and you take the top card of your deck and put it in your life. It's a 2-cost unison, but has activate main for 1. If your leader is mono green, your opponent has 7 or more cards in their hand, you can play this card from your hand with a marker on it. It has just 1+1 activate main. You choose a card in your hand, place it underneath this card. You and your opponent both draw a card, and then you get to play a 1-drop for free, and at the end of the turn, they can bottom deck the card. So this is to play these guys, and then a couple other things that I've got that I'll show you here in just a minute. But being able to, go into turn 2, I know giving your opponent a card seems like a really bad idea, but being able to go into turn 2 and you swing with leader, they take the double strike damage. They're almost always going to take it. And then being able to play this, it gives you 2 swings. You get the swing off this and the swing off one of these little 1-drops. And then every turn that it stays out, that's one free swing that one free card that you're getting off of it every turn. I played 3 of the Tapion, Fate of a Hero. Gives me something to do in the early game, or later on in the game I'm just kind of stalling out and need something to put out. But it is Energy Exhaust and Blocker. Activate main, you pay 1 if your leader is green or Phantom Demon. You discard this card from your hand. You can draw 1 card and then play this card from your deck at the end of the turn. So, if you're on the play, you can go into your turn, pay 1, draw a card, put this into play at the end of the turn. Gives you a blocker. Because of the fact that all the servants don't untap during your charge phase, I play 2 of the Zarbon, the Emperor's Attendant. It has an auto. During your opponent's turn, when you combo with this card, you choose one of your battle cards, switch it to active mode, which is actually ridiculously good, because if you have this guy out there and you want to be able to attack with it a little bit more the next turn, or any of these guys, or even like your blocker guys, they swing in with a 15k and you block with one of these 2 guys, and then you combo with Zarbon, you restand it. That's a double block. Especially if you go dormant, block, combo Zarbon, restand the blocker, block again. I also play 2 of the Bardock, Awakened Instincts, just to get a couple extra draws. It's over on 4 when you play this. You draw 2 cards and discard 1. It's free. It's 4 cost overwhelm, so it's pretty easy to get those cards in the drop. And then it's a free 20k attacker on a couple turns of the game, and you draw a card. Now, I used to play this at 4, but I ended up replacing 2 of them. I played 2 of the Bobbity, Evil Mind Snatcher. It's auto. When this card is played, choose 1. You can activate the ball, which the deck used to play, but I don't run it anymore. Or you look at the top 7 cards of your deck, add 1 Vegeta with service skill among them to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. So, this is good because, early game, if you just don't have any of these guys, you can get them. I also like this for later in the later turns. If you go that far, you shouldn't, because it's an aggro deck. But if you've got, 4, 5, 6 of your guys on the bottom and you're not seeing them, you can play this to shuffle your deck back up and get these mixed back in. Like I said, I used to play 4 of those, but I noticed an issue where playing harder into the Vegeta package, that you end up seeing 2, 3, 4 of these that just sit on the field because, they never untap, so you don't do anything with it. So I started playing 2 Paragus the Sacrifice. Activate main, you choose a green card in your battle area other than this card, place it in your draw card. So being able to keep this on field, if you're able to, play one of your guys, Overlord, put one of the guys on the bottom, draw a card, activate main on Paragus to just blow up the other one and draw another card. It gives me a couple extra draws, which has seemed to help. I'm still in the testing phases though. I'm not 100% sold on it, but it seems pretty good. I mean, because after you swing with them, unless you restand them with a Zarbon or something like that, they're just sitting on the field doing nothing for the rest of the game. I also played 2 of the Goku Fated Rivals. Double strike barrier. If your leader card is green, this card is played. You choose one of your opponent's battle cards from normal barrier, KO it. For 2, if you have 3 or more energy, and you can put an Earthling, Namekian, or Saiyan on the bottom of your deck, and you play this. So, from your Z deck. So if you don't have any other ways, you can take like your 3-drop Vegeta and combo it, and then play Goku, put it on the bottom of the deck, stuff like that. So there's a couple different things you can do with it that way. It also puts your super combos back on the bottom of the deck, and then if you Bobbity, you can shuffle them up, things like that. I play 1 of the Golden Frieza, Newfound Might, mainly because it's a good alternate win con, a good boss monster. It's empowered for 4. So if you can get this to turn to 5 markers, and then you rejuvenate, go down to 1, pay for this, it comes out with a marker, stuff like that. It also a dual type blocker. It's counterattack. You play this card with 3 markers on it, and if it comes in with 4 more markers, when this card is played, choose all your opponent's battle cards and KO them. It has activate main -4. This card gets plus 10,000 power and triple strike for the turn, and then you switch it to active mode at the end of the turn, which is pretty good. Like it's a good way to end the game. But having a dual attack triple striker, 30k is really, really good. I play the Great Saiyaman super combo. I feel like this is the only one that you can play in this deck. The others don't have an option because you can bottom deck, which puts your servant guys on the bottom of the deck, which is where you want them to be. I still play 4 of the Dormants. I think they're good, especially in a deck like this. Like, you just want to limit your opponent. And if, they kill the Unison, that's fine. You just hold up an energy and pay it for 1. I know a lot of people are worried because, the big bad smoke dragon that's coming out and stuff like that. But the way I feel about it is if they're going to spend 2 energy to kill my 1-cost Unison and take off their turn 2 against an aggressive deck, that's a win for me. I'm okay with that, 100%. I'm still playing 3 Protector of the People. I've been debating on cutting that back to 2, but in a lot of these games, it's just been clutch, being able to, dormant, block the first swing, and then just hard negate the second swing against some of these bigger, sometimes more aggressive decks because, other colors get to free play the shit out of stuff, or we don't, but it is what it is. We fight on. 2 of the Homicidal Clones. Card's good, token negate, it is what it is. Play this card, take a life if you're at 5 or less, and play a blocker. The fact that we take a lot of our own life is a little bit of a hindrance, so I don't play this card as often, which is another reason why I play more of the Protector of the People and like to leave an energy up. I played 2 Dark Death Ball. I know a lot of people aren't a huge fan of this card, but I like it because you can free counter most of the, well, actually, all of the good floodgates in the game now that Violent Ray's got it right up. But it's counterplay if you have a green Unison in play. If the battle card being played has an energy cost of 4 or less, it's placed in the owner's drop instead of being played. Then you choose one of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost of 1, and KO it. The big thing is that if all your energy is mono green, you can play this without paying its mana cost, or its energy cost. Sorry, too much magic. Or its energy cost by pitching 2 cards instead. I know you go down essentially this card and 2 other cards, but being able to free stop, their floodgate on your kill turn can be huge. And then I switched up my SCR. I used to play the Wicked Saiyans, but now I'm playing Pan, just to give me another way to, floodgate my opponent so that I can continue to just push them through the damage the way I want. I mean, most people don't know what it does. If you have 3 or more energy, you can play this card, and then your opponent can attack the battle cards for the turn. And then it gets reduced by 2 for each battle card that you have in play. And then you can pay 1, remove from the game, and steal one of your opponent's Unisons. As far as the Z deck goes, right now I've only got like 5 cards in it, but I play 1 of the Vegeta, Surmounting the Impossible, because it's another one of those things. If you need to have another way to put this guy on the bottom, probably end up playing 2. I pulled it out to put in another deck that I was testing yesterday, but there's usually 2 of those in here. But then, you add up to 1 card from your life, draw a card. So being able to just pay 1, put this on the bottom, draw a card, it's pretty good. I've been playing around just because we don't have any other green stuff right now. I've been playing one of these new Son Goku, Awakened by Rage. The only thing you get out of it is the auto when it's played until the end of your opponent's next turn. It gets plus 5k and can't be removed by skills. So you pay 1, get a 15k attacker. The other 2 skills only work if you have a Son Goku leader. Then I play 3 of the Frieza Resurrected Ambition. Deflect Double Strike. Auto when this card is played, choose one of your opponent's battle cards. Energy costs 5 or less and KO it. And then once per turn on one of your cards with energy costs 2 or more attacks, you can move a Z energy to the drop, your opponent pitches the card. In the later turns, that could be really good if you're putting constant pressure on your opponent with a 30k double strikers and triple strikers the entire game. Their hand's not going to be super, super great. So being able to just rip it apart a little bit at the end, towards the end of the game, it's pretty good. You guys let me know what you think. This is the way I've been playing it. I really like it. Like I said, this is kind of a test, but we'll see how it goes. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you think.